Would you swap a grey UK winter for sunshine in Tenerife, even if you ended up spending part of the trip on your own? Like many of us, I really struggle with the cold, dark UK winters. So over the past few years, I've been gently building up these sunshine escapes, and I've discovered something lovely along the way. When you're on your own, even the simplest moments start to feel like mini adventures. Last January, after a week at a yoga retreat in Tenerife, I booked a longer stay for this winter in a small apartment in a residential complex in Playa de la Arena. Originally, it was going to be a solo trip, but my husband decided to come along for the first week. And that's when I realised this might actually be the perfect way to ease into solo travel. Having a partner with you for the outward journey helps you settle in, get your bearings, and feel comfortable before you continue on your own. So let me show you what I got up to during my solo stay in Tenerife, and why I think that if I can do it, you can too. One of the simplest and most pleasurable things you can do as a solo traveller is simply to walk, and it's one of the reasons that I chose to stay in this part of Tenerife. The coastal paths stretch for miles, and it's an excellent way to get your daily steps in. I particularly loved my walks between Playa de la Arena and Los Gigantes, passing the dramatic beach at Puerto de Santiago. There are plenty of places to stop and take in the view en route, and bars, restaurants and shops too. This is a very easy walk. There are just a few steps and a few slopes. One of the great joys of walking is that it's free and you don't have to worry about working out how to use public transport, which can often panic me when I'm travelling alone. So I'm always grateful if I'm staying somewhere that's easy, safe and pleasurable to walk around. If you head south from Playa de la Arena, the wonderfully flat coastal path will take you to the neighbouring town of Alcalá. This was a bit of a long slog on the day I did it, with high winds and no protection from the salt sea blast. But the joy of being on your own is that you can just take your time. And it was fun to stop and watch the surfers braving the waves. You pass a lovely little beach on the way into town, and it's the perfect place to take a rest before finding something to eat. This path, like the one to Los Gigantes, is a popular one, so I felt perfectly safe walking here on my own. It's back to Los Gigantes now for one of my favourite things to do when I'm travelling solo, a boat trip. You can book ahead online or just turn up to one of the many offices in town, which are easy to spot. Boats run several times a day with different companies offering a variety of trips. My favourite trip is with the Introvert Express, and there was one day when the waves were quite something and we had to be guided out of the harbour. The first part of the trip is spent speeding out to sea. These guys know all the best spots to see the resident pilot whales and bottlenose dolphins, and once something is spotted, the boat stops. They have a no chase policy, and time with the animals is strictly limited. This is my favourite thing to do in Tenerife. It's always a magical experience. Afterwards, the boat heads towards the cliffs and there's a chance to swim while drinks are served. If you want a more relaxed pace with fewer people, there's a lovely boat called the Caroline Sophie, which leaves Los Gigantes 3 times a day. This is a much more scenic tour where we really had time to appreciate the dramatic beauty of the cliffs. But the boat doesn't head out to sea as far as the Musca Express, so the chances of seeing pilot whales and dolphins isn't as high, and I'm afraid the only thing we saw in the water was rather bizarrely a butternut squash. Still, any time out on the water is time well spent. Another way to enjoy your time by the sea is simply to find a quiet spot, maybe with a book at sunset, maybe just people watching. Of course, all this sea air is going to give you an appetite, and one of the joys of travelling solo is that you can eat exactly what you want when you want. One lunchtime, I chose a local pizzeria and was quickly joined at my table by a handsome local. He scuttled across my pizza at one stage, and a server came out with a little bowl of chips as a decoy so I could eat in peace. That's one of the things I love most about solo travel. The simplest of outings can turn into a mini adventure. And if you're worried about eating on your own, don't be. Nobody's paying you any attention, or if they are, it's for the briefest of time before they get on with their own life again. So relax and enjoy yourself. Order that smoothie or barraquito and sit back and relax. It's so liberating. Something else that might surprise you about solo travelling is that even something as simple as shopping can become a fun outing. Exploring new supermarkets and seeing the fresh produce and the different things they stock, I just love that. And small acts like venturing into foreign shops can really build your confidence. I hope I've shown you how the simplest of pastimes can become little adventures when you're on your own. You don't need to do anything crazy like go paragliding, although you absolutely can, and it's something I did on my first solo trip to Tenerife. But sometimes just walking, reading, or sitting by the sea is enough to make your solo trip feel magical. And if I can manage it, I truly believe that you can too. There is so much beauty to see in the world, and so many magical moments just waiting to happen to you. So has this inspired you to maybe tag a day or two on to your family holidays and go it alone while everybody else returns home? Let me know in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to my channel to join me on future adventures. I'd love to have your company.